Hi guys, welcome back. I thought I would do a planner update as to what I am currently using, what I have not used, what I'm not using since the beginning of 2024. So you guys know that I actually started off the year with quite a lot of planners, and it's really more of an option than anything else. And I'm just gonna keep pulling them because they're kind of all over here and I just don't, I'm actually not really using them. But so I did have one of the B6, which is to take a note. I actually got this with the intention of really having this as my main planner, and it kind of fell and disappeared only because I did not really care for this particular layout. It was a little disappointing because I was hoping that this layout would be the same as, say, the A6 or the A5, but it did not. So this just became like a sample planner, almost like a notebook. I tried to make it work as a media planner, but it just didn't kind of go that way. But it became, you know, a place where I would do swatches and test out some inks and stuff. So it's just like a testing book. So this B6 from Take a Note is gone. I also got the 2024 Sterling ink. I want to say this is called the N1, the vertical weeks. And I really like the idea of that it is timed and has all, like, you know, it's just a completely different layout than the Hobonichi weeks. Not jiving with it because then it's almost identical to my A5 Hon, so I just didn't decide to use this at all, and I just kept it for little fun things to test out washies and do some mock-ups, testing out new stickers that I have for the shop just to see how they kind of lay for size. But other than that, this has no function whatsoever. This is the B6 Dodo Lulu. I actually didn't know what to do with this one at first. Let me see. I turned this into a journal, like a daily journal. And obviously not that daily because I'm not doing it daily. I don't want to stress over the fact that I'm not journaling every single day. But sorry. I just kind of did when I can, and this is a good size for me. I actually started off with the A6, Take a Note, for daily journaling, and again, I did not quite like this layout. I don't know why. I tried it in the A6. At that time, I felt like I had a lot to write, and then I just felt the columns were too small, and then I somehow went to this, and I kind of like this a little bit better. I'm not consistent though, so I've ditched my A6 Take a Note and moved into the B6 Dodo Lulu as my daily journal, and this is just hanging out here with no purpose whatsoever. If you guys watched my channel before, you guys know that I absolutely love my Papertest, and this is the Papertest weeks. All intentions for 2024, I really wanted to go back to using this. I don't want to say I have completely scratched this planner out at the moment, but I have kind of stopped using it and went back to my Hobonichi weeks. And I can talk a little bit more about that, but I feel that Papertess, as much as I love her planners, I survived an entire year in 2023 with the weeks and the B6. I did get the B6 for 2024. I just haven't touched it. It is still in the plastic cover. I couldn't quite get rid of it yet because I'm still kind of attached to it. I feel like I'm going to go back to it, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And I kind of have ditched the the weeks, the Papertest weeks for the weekly notebook at the moment. Again, this is kind of shelved, but I may go back to this later in the year. But so far, I've only used maybe most of January and part of December because it started in December. And this is kind of shelved right now. And this was going to be my main planner, which is the A5 Take a Note. I still really love it. I love the paper. I love the layout. I was trying different layouts to get used to how I could get acquainted to use a different completely layout, I guess. I've tried different ways. This is the first time I'm using it. This is like the first week of January. So I've divided it with work and personal column. It can work, but I kind of lost interest after a while. So I've been looking at the internet for inspiration, and I feel like this is probably what I would need to use this for. I'm going to try this again for maybe a couple weeks, maybe for the entire month of February. So the actual column dates, because I actually work from home, so I don't have like appointments. I would just use it as a running to-do list. And then same with, and then I also have this, which is the plotter, and this is the Bible size. I know everybody's using the plotter. I actually got this a couple of years ago, and yes, the rings are teeny tiny, but it really is just purely functional. I set this up originally as my EDC because I really do miss having rings. But sorry about the cough. But I set this up originally as my EDC. I am really enjoying using the tiny little stickers in the monthly section, and I find I'm not reaching out for the weekly as much. It does have like little notes pages back here, or a to-do page, and this is pretty much it. My entire plotter. I keep this set up because like I said, I miss rings, but I'm not in love with it. So it's kind of shelved with this. It's like, I'm going to come back to them. Eventually, I'm going to come back to them. So what I am now currently using, and I don't know why I do this to myself every single year, I always going back to that OG, which would be my A5 Hon, A5 cousin, Hobonichi cousin, and then a weeks. I really missed having my weeks. Last year, I did not use my weeks at all, and I just find my weeks to be so simple, not complicated. I can add stickers. I have space for my to-do. I have space for things that happened during the day, appointments. I can use that as a notes page if I had to write notes. I just decided to go back to my weeks. It's light, it's compact. With this versus this, I feel this just gives me more room to write. Then this is definitely more structured, and there's something weird about having all these blank pages in the back because I never use them. Even though I complain about, not having writing space, but I like having writing space on areas where it kind of reflects on the week that I was, writing about. So I went back to my weeks as my EDC, and then I have my A5 Hon, and I obviously love my Hon. I actually have two Hons, and one is my memory keeper and one is just for fun and decorative. So my Hon is my go-to. A5 Hon is my go-to planner, and it has everything in there. I haven't quite used the daily pages as much, but I will fill it out with pictures and fun stuff, because I actually do not keep my planners at the end of the year. So I'm planning on doing that this year, is to keep my planners. That's why I'm spending a little bit more time decorating, writing meaningful stuff in my planner. So my weeks, not so much. This is probably going to get tossed out at the end of the year. And so this is just purely functional, and this is just for fun as well as something memory keeping for me to reach back to. So from like 20 planners that I had beginning of the year or end of last year that I thought I would use, I am now down to my basic 2, which is my A5 cousin and my Hobonichi weeks. So, and we'll see how I end up with this and if I go back to using this. But I have a feeling this may be a good contender for me to go back to, but this combo is definitely the one that I am going to stick with. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little planner update and let you know what I'm using. I am curious to see what you guys are using from all the options before and what you guys have chose and stuck with. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.